everyone, some Gamer Dude here, your Matt Cardona of card games. Today we're going to be looking at the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure deck, Beware of the Traptix. This one interested me because I quite enjoyed the idea of the theme, basically being plain anglerfish with cute girls. That's very creative. I like the idea of it going back to the old Trap Hole cards and doing stuff with that. I haven't actually researched the cards very much, so this will be all new to me. All I know about it is theming. But if you like today's content and want to help the channel and want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content, because we're going to be doing it for quite a while, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. Also, if you want a card game that honestly is a little bit more affordable than this, even if you just play with the structure decks, because you get 3 fully viable decks at once, but not that much more money, you can check out my card game, Hyper Juken. This is the first set, the new challenges, and the second set, Power Surge, just came out recently. Furthermore, if you're an international customer, if you spend $75 Australian or more before shipping, which each of these are, you can also get a Fighter Plus signature card set. For example, here is the Lucy set. Oh, pretty full art foils. Very, very nice. Very reflective. Much want. So if you like that, also be sure to like the channel, share and subscribe. Also check out the Hyper Juken channel and a few of the social media stuff, which you'll also find link in the description. So let's get this out of the way. So let's get started with Beware of Traptrix. Yu-Gi-Oh! 25th anniversary, that is the 25th anniversary of the OCG, the TCG coming out in 2002, and the IP itself coming out in 1996. First edition, nothing else. Nothing else, let's read the blurb. The Traptrix may appear cute on the surface, but if you get too close, they'll devour you whole. These carnivorous plants and insects are always on the hunt for your opponent's monsters. First Traptrix monsters help you set powerful whole trap cards. I wonder what Nijax has to say about that. That can drop your opponent's monsters right out of the duel. Then they gather together to feast on your opponent's life points. This structure deck comes with a wide array of useful trap cards you can use to power up any deck. Comes with 40 common cards, 3 super rares, 5 ultra rares, and 1 double-sided playmat, which also is a strategy guide, and also QR codes, something else we're doing because it's just easier. So let's get this open. I like to open them from the bottom, even though I ended up chucking out most of the boxes, to be honest. I think I've only got one of each of the previous ones left. No point in keeping garbage. See you later. Gonna copy Kyle Peterson, because that's a channel I like. I like watching his toy reviews. So we've got the guide, basically how to use it. Tells you how to power it up with insect cards, mostly. Nothing on theme by the look of it. Just the sort of stuff to help the deck. And then it's just got the sorted pictures. Nothing of real importance. That's actually surprising. Never seen anything like that from one of the structure decks. And just a nice picture on the back. If you could get a nice 300 and 300 DPI scan of that, that'd make a nice mat. I actually don't know why Konami doesn't sell the mats. So we start with an ultra rare on top. Let's just go off camera to open this up. Oh, that's a little bit of bowing there. You can actually see the divide between the foils and the normal cards. Also, QR to learn the basics, beginner's guide. See, I'm not the only one actually doing that. It saves a lot of stuff, because you'd be surprised in manufacturing that all the plastic inserts and that have to be done at a different factory. So, and I'm having trouble finding the edge. Where is it? Yeah, so that actually increases costs, because the more separate components you have to a product, the more you have to pay, and I just got it. So things in manufacturing, you have to cut costs a lot to get things under budget, because you do need to turn something resembling a profit. So, as I've said, I don't know many of the cards in this. I know a couple of the staples in it. Well, they used to be staples. I don't think they are anymore. But we'll just separate the deck in two and take a look. Starting with Traptix Pudica. That's the name. And that's an image. 1900 4-star, ultra rare, unaffected by the effects of whole normal trap cards. I don't think there is a trap hole that would work on your own monsters though. Is there? We might find out because they're probably all on this deck. You can only use each of the following effects of Traptix Pudica once per turn. When this card is normal summoned, you can add one Traptix Garden, that sounds like a field spell, from your deck to your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls, banish it. It can also, during the next standby phase, your opponent can special summon one of their banished monsters. Not the same one, so you might actually end up helping them. I don't know how I feel about that one. We'll see. Maybe there's ways to just win. So next up we have that field spell card, Traptix Garden. Trying really hard not to get the glare on the card. During your main phase, you can normal summon one Traptix monster in addition to your normal summon/set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. The first time each insect or plant monster you control would be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed, so a little bit of protection. You can banish one monster you control. Special summon one Traptix monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use this effect of Traptix Garden once per turn. So you essentially get 2 extra summons. That's actually rather interesting. Trap Tantalizing Tune. I didn't know that had any musical themes. I was actually watching Rata's Musica at Medelica, I think it was, video this morning. Discard one level 4 insect or plant monster, or one normal trap. Draw 2 cards, so it becomes a filter. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished level 4 insect or plant monsters, or normal traps, place it on the bottom of your deck. You can only use each effect of Trap Tantalizing Tune once per turn. Traptix Pudica is a plant, so interesting there. Traptrix Pinguicula, I'm gonna guess that's pronounced. That's a hard word to say. It's 2 level 4 monsters, Plantix Seas monsters with 2500 attack and 300 defense. While this card has material, it is unaffected by trap effects and the effects of other monsters with the same type as this card's material. So if you can grab your opponent's monsters and use them as material for this, it won't be affected by that. Not going to be particularly useful against decks that run a wide variety of monsters under the same banner. You can only use each of the following effects of Traptix Pinguicula, however it's pronounced, once per turn. You can detach one material from this card. Add one Traptix monster from your deck to your hand. If a monster's owned by your opponent is sent to the graveyard or banished by a card effect except during the damage step, you can attach one of those monsters to this card as material. So you can grab materials and basically make her immune to them, and then use them to grab Traptix cards. That's interesting. Links. Not a fan of links. I like pendulums. 2+ monsters, including an insect or plant monster for Traptix Archetype. She's an 1800 attack, link 3, so to the sides and below. This linked summon card is unaffected by trap effects. All Traptix monsters you control gain 1000 attack while you have a normal trap in your graveyard. Once per turn, you can target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of plant and insect monsters you control, negate their effects until the end of this turn. Then you can apply this effect. Banish one normal trap from your graveyard, and if you do, destroy one of those targeted face-up cards. So you can negate their effect and destroy them. Traptrix Arachnocamper, so she's clearly some type of spider. That's what Arachno means. She's a 1300, 1500 4-star insect, unaffected by the effects of normal trap cards. Each time The first time each set card in your spell trap zone would be destroyed by card effect each turn. It is not destroyed. During the main phase, if you control a Traptix monster quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except for plant and insect monsters. You can only use this effect of Traptix Arachnocamper once per turn. So it really tries to get out the Link 4 or the Xyz monster. And on top of Garden, gives you 3 summons a turn. That's actually pretty interesting. Evenly matched, yes, I am aware of this card. I'm surprised it's a super rare, to be honest. At the end of the battle phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can make your opponent banish cards from their field face down so they control the same number of cards as you do. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. Yeah, evenly matched, it evens up the board. Very well named card. Traptrix Holiotea. I think that's pronounced. You can activate this card the turn it was set by discarding 1 normal trap. Special summon this card in defense position as a normal monster. Play an Earth, level 4, 400/2400. This card is not traded as a trap. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Traptrix monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use 1 Traptrix Holiotea once per turn, and only once that turn. So basically you can set it, use it to get a 4-star, turn it into one of the Xyz or the Links, or use it for something else. Here we go with the normal cards, so I think we're through the foils. Traptix Atrax, she's a 4-star, 1000. Unaffected by the effects of whole normal trap cards, you can activate whole normal trap cards from your hand. That's very useful. The activation of normal trap activated on your field cannot be negated. That's also quite useful. Traptrix Marmello. Okay, it's an insect. 1600/1200, unaffected by the effects of normal whole trap cards. When this card is normal summon, you can add 1 whole normal trap card from your deck to your hand, +1, and it can work with Atrax here. If this card is special summon, target 1 spell trap your opponent controls, destroy that target, so it's back row removal. Traptrix Nepenthes, 800/2000. Oh, I don't think that's very useful these days. Not 2000 defense. Unaffected by the effects of whole normal traps. If you activate a whole normal trap, except during the damage step, and then it's usually the main phase, you can add to your hand or special summon 1 Traptrix monster from your deck, except Traptrix Nepenthes. You can only use this effect of Traptrix Nepenthes once per turn. Pretty useful for the one that allows you to use them from hand, to be honest. Traptrix Dionea. She's a 1700/1100 plant. Unaffected by the effects of whole normal trap cards. I think they all have that. When this card is normal summoned, you can target 1 Traptrix monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. Hello, Nepenthes. When this card is special summoned, doesn't say you can't get this one either, by the way. You can target 1 whole normal trap card in your graveyard, set it but banish it during the end phase of your next turn if it is still on the field. So you want something that can hit special summons, I would gather. You can only use this effect of Traptrix Dionea once per turn. Traptrix Genlesia, I'm going to guess that's pronounced. A 1200, 1600, 4-star plant. I think they've all been 4 stars. So like I have. Really setting up that Xyz and Links. I wonder if there's any more extra deck monsters. Unaffected by the effects of normal trap whole monster cards, you contribute this card, set 2 normal whole traps with different names, 1 from the deck and 1 from the graveyard, but banish them when they leave the field. Oh, have we been able to grab things from the remove pile? You can only use the effect of Traptrix Genlesia once per turn. Keep putting the cards face down. I don't know why I'm doing that. Traptrix Versiculo. I think that's how it's pronounced. Versiculo. A 1400 plant, 4-star. Again, unaffected by the whole normal traps. you can only use one of the following effects of Traptix Vesiculo once per turn, and only once per turn. You can send one trap card you control in your graveyard, you control to your graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. If you control no cards in your spell and trap zone, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one whole normal trap card in your grave, set it to the field, so it allows you to grab holes back. This is new. It's another kaiju. They've been putting these in a lot of those structure decks because they're a good way of getting around things that are largely unbreakable. This would be your Mothra equivalent. Gadala, the Mystery Dust Kaiju, really hammering home Mothra. An insect with 2700, 1600. I think the insect part is probably why it's here. You can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field in attack position by attributing one monster they control. If your opponent controls a kaiju monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in attack position. You can only control one kaiju monster. Once per turn, quick effect, you can remove 3 kaiju counters from anywhere on the field. The attack and defense of all other monsters on the field become halved. I have never seen the card that actually produces these kaiju counters. I'm curious if there is actually a kaiju deck. I'd actually like to invest time to see it. And Kumongas, the Sticky String Kaiju, another insect kaiju. This one would be from the Spider from Godzilla. You can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field in attack position by attributing one monster they control. If your opponent controls a kaiju monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in attack position. You can only control one kaiju monster. When your opponent normal summons or special summons a monster except during the damage step, you can remove 2 kaiju counters from anywhere on the field until the end of turn. Until the end of the next turn, that monster cannot attack and its effects are negated. So I think you'd summon this to your opponent's field, special summon this, and then ram into it. Retaliating Sea. I think the sea monsters are they're pretty strong. I know a lot of people Max Sea, I'm not familiar. I would actually like to get around to streaming Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels. We'll see if that happens in the future. I know it's legal there. I know it's not legal in the TCG. So it's a 4-star, 1400 insect. When your opponent activates a spell card that includes the effect of special summoning a monster, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, while this card is face up on the field, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Earth insect monster with 1500 attack or less from your deck to your hand, except Retaliating Sea, and pretty much all the Traptix monsters fit that bill, so you can get them. I'm not sure if you would run this, but it's there. Resonance Insect, another 4-star 1700 insect. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, links, you can add 1 level 5 or higher insect monster from your deck to your hand, the kaiju. If this card is banished, you can send 1 insect monster from your deck to your graveyard, except Resonance Insect. I'm not sure how useful that is. Lone Fire Blossom, actual 3-star fire monster this time. 500, 1400. Once per turn, you contribute 1 face-up plant monster, special summon 1 plant monster from your deck. That might be useful for getting out very, very specific Traptix cards. I'm not sure. Ash Blossom in the Joy Spring. I think this is our 3rd printing of this card in the structure deck. Might be the 4th. It's good they keep reprinting it, because I know it is still quite useful. So if you don't know, it's a hand trap. When an effect or card is activated that includes any of these effects, you can discard this card to negate that effect. Add a card from deck to hand, special summon from deck, send a card from deck to graveyard, and basically stops your opponent's combos from starting on their first turn. Rose Lover, that sounds like a card from the 5Ds goal that has Black Rose Dragon. I don't remember her name. Black Rose Dragon is actually a design I quite like. Rose Lover, 1-star, 8/8. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon 1 plant monster from your hand, and if you do, it is unaffected by opponent's trap cards, this trap effects I should say, this turn you can only use this effect over Rose Lover once per turn. And it doesn't mention a level for the monster, so you can grab anything really. Sorge de Fleur, that's a lot of stars, I think it's 8 all up. It looks to be 8. 2900 spellcaster, so not a plant. I think it's a Mind Flayer from Dungeons and Dragons or the first Final Fantasy. You can target one monster you control and add one card on the field. And target one card on the field. Special summon this card from your hand. If you do, destroy them. So one of your monsters and one other card on the field doesn't specify yours. If this card is sent from the field to your graveyard, you can target one other monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into your deck, then add one level 1 plant monster, Rose Lover, from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can only use each effect of Sage de Fleur once per turn. Or it'll be interesting to see if we see another plant level 1. Mech Knight Purple Nightfall. I'm pretty sure that is an archetype itself. I'm still learning modern Yu-Gi-Oh! 2500 to 1000. Psychic, that's a 5Ds thing that was introduced. So I'm not sure why it was necessary to add Psychic, unless they just didn't want to add more to machines or spellcasters, like they added Worm to not introduce things to dragons. If 2 or more cards are in the same column, special summon this card from your hand in that column. You can only special summon Mech Knight Purple Nightfall once per turn this way. Quick effect, you can target one Mech Knight monster you control, banish it until the standby phase of your next turn, and if you do, add one Mech Knight monster from your deck to your hand except Mech Knight Purple Nightfall. You can only use this effect of Mech Knight Purple Nightfall once per turn. So I think there are multiple Mech Knights in here, and it allows you to back row, your opponent's front row, special summon this, and do things. Yep, Blue Sky. The 5-star Psychic 2000, 2500. So it is the opposite stats of Purple Nightfall. If 2 or more cards are in the same column, you can special summon this card from your hand to that column. You can only special summon Mech Knight Blue Sky once per turn this way. If this card is normal special summoned from your hand, you can add one Mech Knight monsters with different hands, except Mech Knight Blue Sky, from your deck to your hand. Oh, you can add Mech Knight monsters with different names, equal to the number of your opponent's cards in this card column. So I think typically you'd only get one, because you'd set a trap card in front of your opponent's monster to special summon this. Artifact Moral Tack, Fairy 5-star 2100, 1400. I'm pretty sure this is related to some of those Dark Magician cards that are the Rod and that type of stuff. It's got a very similar feel to it. You can set this card from your hand to your spell or in trap zone as a spell. Yep. During your opponent's turn, if this card is in your spell and trap zone, is destroyed and sent to your graveyard. Might be ways to do that yourself on your opponent's turn, because it doesn't say by your opponent's effect. Special summon it, so you get a free 2100 body. If this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, you can destroy one face-up card your opponent controls, which is very, very open. Fire Hand, and looking at the other pile, we've got a lot of these hand cards. It's a Pyro monster, 4-star, 16, 1000. When this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, you can target one monster they control, destroy that target, then you can special summon one Ice Hand from your deck. And lo and behold, it is Ice Hand. Same stats but in reverse. Aqua instead of Pyro. Water instead of Fire. When this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card, so it's not effect, it's not battle, it's both, and sent to the graveyard, you can target one spell trap they control, destroy the target, then special summon one Fire Hand from your deck, so they keep looping into each other. And destroy your opponent's field. So we're up to Thunderhand now. So we're nearly done. I know it's been quite a long video, but as I said, these are all new to me. So Thunderhand. It's same stats, 16-16 this time apparently. 4-star Light Thunder. Not really sure how all those hands fit into the Traptix theme. They feel kind of fillery. If a face-up monster you control with 1600 original attack or defense is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard while this card is in your hand or your graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. And if you do, destroy one card your opponent controls. You can only use this effect of Thunderhand once per turn. So basically it's a ramification for your opponent destroying your monsters, although you could ram your 1600 or less into something. Maybe it's got a side effect of destroying the card anyway. Pop 2 of the guys, special summon this. It's an option. Raigeki, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Yeah, I've never actually owned Raigeki before. That might surprise you, but Legend of Blue Eyes Ultra Rares were very, very scarce. A lot of the old Yu-Gi-Oh! Ultra Rares are extremely scarce. I don't think I own Monster Reborn, not Monster Reborn, I own the Ultra Rare Monster Reborn. Mirror Force. Well and truly until the Yu-Gi-Oh! Legend decks, I think it was, came out. The 3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi decks from over the series. Harpy's Feather Duster. Destroy all spell and traps your opponent controls. Very surprised to say that is common, to be honest, because I've only ever experienced it with the secret rare foiling, I think it is. The old foiling they used to use for video game promos, because that's how you originally got it. And I don't remember, but I think that old printing has different artwork. Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmare. And there's still quite a few cards to go. We're going to be here a while, folks. Hold on to your butts. So, if your opponent has special summoned a monster this turn, target one monster your opponent controls with 2000 or more attack, destroy it. Then if you have a normal hole trap in your graveyard, you can banish one monster from your opponent's graveyard. You can only activate one Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmare per turn. And this is a normal trap, so it works with a lot of our stuff. OG Trap Hole. Yeah, I was actually expecting that to be here. When your opponent normal or flip summons a monster with 1000 or more attack, target that monster, destroy that target. Doesn't need special summons, we need Bottomless Trap Hole for that. And what do you know, there it is. When your opponent summons a monster with 1500 or more attack, destroy that monster with 1500 or more attack, and if you do, banish it. That's very useful. I don't think I'd even use normal Trap Hole. And so we get 2 Bottomless Trap Holes, so I've got 6 all up. Void Trap Hole. This one's new to me. When your opponent special summons a monster with 2000 or more attack, negate the effects of one of those monsters with 2000 more attack, and if you do, destroy it. That might actually be more useful than Bottomless Trap Hole in some situations, because there might be cards that can't be targeted, and pretty sure Bottomless Trap Hole may target. Traptix Trap Hole Nightmare. And you can see them as all the bugs and plants they really are. That's actually a really, really cool image. I like that one. You can see the money that art would have cost. When a monster that was special summoned this turn activates its effect on your opponent's field, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. That's actually pretty interesting, because you lull them into a false insecurity where they keep doing things, and then it's like, boom, negating your thing, you're just going to get rid of it. But it is an activated effect, and anything that's silly and might need a turn of ignition, like any of the, I think it's one of the Rainbow Dragons, yeah, that's not going to work against it. We get 2 of those. Floodgate Trap Hole, get another normal trap. When your opponent special summons a monster, change the monster face down defense position. Monsters change to face down defense position by this effect cannot change their battle positions. That seems to be so blanketing, it'd even do things like stop defense. That's interesting. Gravedigger's Trap Hole, not familiar with this one. When your opponent activates a monster effect from their hand or graveyard, or when your opponent's banished monsters effect is activated, negate that effect, and if you do, inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent. From hand or graveyard is actually very, very useful, I think. Use this with the Traptix card that allows you to use them from hand. I think you got something going there. Traptrix. That's, it's lulling them in. That's the guy from Reinforcements. How's that for a very old trap card? Remember when Reinforcements was good when Yu-Gi-Oh! And Kaiba's first decks came out? That's how old I am. Banish one normal trap from your deck except Traptrix, and if you do, set one card with the same name directly from your deck. It can be activated this turn. You can only activate one trap for the rest of this turn after this card resolves. You can only activate one Traptrix per turn. So we still haven't really seen a way to interact with traps in the banish pile. So we'll see. Phantom Knights of Shade Brigadine. Special summon in defense position a normal monster warrior dark level 4 0 300 is not treated as a trap anymore. If you control no traps if you have no traps in your graveyard, you can activate this card the turn it was set. So there was another Traptrix monster card that did very much the same. I don't know if you'd need both. You can only use it once per turn. Artifact Sanctum, special summon one artifact monster from your deck. I think that was one of the bugs, wasn't it? If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can target one card on the field, destroy that target. You can only activate one target Sanctum per turn. So by your opponent's card. So very, very hard to set off in my opinion, because you have to get your opponent to snipe your back row. Naturia Sacred Tree. It's a continuous trap. I think it's the only one we've seen in the deck. If this card is sent to the graveyard, add one Naturia card from your deck to your hand, except Naturia Sacred Tree. I don't think we saw any. Pretty sure. Sure we didn't see any. You can only use one of the following effects of Naturia Sacred Tree once per turn. And only once per turn. You contribute one Earth Insect monster, special summon one level 4 or lower Earth Plant monster from your deck, and the same in reverse. So it does actually help the Traptrix monsters getting the exact ones you need. Here we go. More Xyz monsters. So this is Traptrix Rafflesia, a 2500 one that needs 2 level 4 monsters unaffected by trap effects while it has material. Traptrix monsters you control except Traptrix Rafflesia cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Your opponent cannot target Traptrix monsters you control except Rafflesia with card effects. Once per turn, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card and send one whole normal trap that meets its activation conditions from your deck to the graveyard. This effect becomes that trap card's effect when that card is activated. Oh, that's actually really useful. You can use any of the trap cards, the whole cards, with this card so long as you have it out. And you get 2, I'm not sure if you could get more uses out of it, but it's not very hard to make, being 2 level 4s, and we've got a lot of those. Traptrix Alomeros, it's a 2200, 600, 2+ level 4 monsters, unaffected by trap effects while it has material. You can only use, well, you can really see that they've rammed things together here. You can only use each of the following effects of Alomeros once per turn. Detach 2 materials from this card, special summon one level 4 insect or plant monster from your graveyard. Oh, that's a very hefty cost. If your opponent's monster leaves the field because of your card effect and is now in the graveyard or banished except during the damage step, so trap hole cards, you can detach one material from this card, then target one of them, special summon it to your field, so you can detach cards to special summon the cards that you remove via trap cards. That's really nifty. We're in the home stretch, we don't have that much to go. Traptix Colaria. It's points across and down, so it's linked to 1800. 2 insect or plant monsters. This link summon card is unaffected by trap effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Traptix Colaria once per turn. After you activate a whole normal trap card, you can set it instead of sending it to the graveyard. That's very useful. During your end phase, you can target one Traptix monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. So you can reset a trap card or special summon. Very, very useful. You'd use 1 on each turn, I believe. Traptix Sarah. She only points down. She's 800, link 1. 1 non-linked Traptix monster. This linked summon card is unaffected by trap effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Traptix Sarah once per turn and not during the damage step. If a normal trap card is activated, you can special summon 1 Traptix monster from your deck with a different name from the cards you control. So basically turn the trap cards into a +1. If your other Traptix monster effect is activated, you can set 1 normal whole trap card directly from your deck. Now, I need to check that. Do they mean activated? Does that mean an ignition effect, an activated effect? Or do they mean a triggered effect that is activated? Again, I have to search that up. Traptix Mantis, and that is the last card. It's a 4-star, 1500. 1300 looks like something that just added at last minute. Unaffected by the effects of normal trap cards. Normal whole trap cards. When this card is normal summon, you can add 1 Traptix monster from your deck to your hand. Works very well with the garden as well. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 spell trap card you control, return that target to your hand, then you can set 1 spell trap card from your hand. So basically, if your opponents are doing something and you need something else on the board, maybe your board's full, you can get it out. And on top of that, we have a QR code for Master Duel. Hooray for that. And Photon Hypernova, which is the next set. And again, hooray for that. So, I think these Traptix cards look very, very interesting. I'm going to look up a build. I'll credit it, because that's actually what I do. I just use other people's builds. I don't really have enough time to play. I just find someone else's deck, play it, and then as I learn the deck, I tailor it to my taste. I think that's much better for more time-conscious people. We end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards for the extra deck. I'm not sure about the hand cards. We'll see. Yeah, it looks interesting. It looks like it's very, very different from the other decks I'm playing at the moment, because I'm playing Amazonas. I still play a little bit of Cyber Dragons. I still haven't played my Crystal Beasts, and I play quite a bit of Shadows. I really like Shadows. I think that is a really enjoyable deck, even to this day. I still need to get a couple of little things for it. But that's the video for today. I'm aware this is 40 minutes, but it's all new cards to me. Till next time, this has been Some Gamer Dude, your Matt Cardona of card games. I wonder how many people are going to get that reference. Till next time, friends, thanks for watching.